should this become contaminated and your tips get clogged, you can take the cover off and the tops of these tips come apart. So the tip can be cleaned separately, usually clogs up from the inside. There's an actuator pin that goes inside to create the pressure necessary to create the droplet. When removing the tip to clean it, watch out for this little pin and spring inside. When you go to put it back in, the tip goes in to the knot, the little spring holder. So put it on, hold it on with your fingernail, slide the tip back over, and then screw it back in after cleaning. These are very small orifices and they may need to be cleaned. Typically only if you're using powdered material in here to spray with this. I would recommend using one of the other tips, which are 50% larger for a powdered spray, but if you want to try a powdered spray through this, you may end up clogging. All right, so you're going to need to make a choice, and you'll get more familiar with how to make that choice once you've used these in the field of what spraying device you want to use to spray. And the first choice is, am I going to use the air gun with its 50 micron small fine sprayer on the tip, or am I going to use the wand, all right, and then be able to use one of the other tips to spray? One obvious difference is the air gun takes more power, so the battery life won't be as long. So if you've got a big task and lots of spraying to do, you might contemplate using the wand to get the longest battery life. The wand and the air gun both attach via a male thread to the backpack with this ferrule, and it has a gland here that's built in. This one's not going to get flying off and lost on you. So you place the gland in the side of the end of the tube and then tighten this guy up to attach the wand. Choose your spraying. I'm going to put the dual sprayer. We're going to go spray a front seating area. It might be outside a restaurant, something like that, in a moment. And now you've got your wand attached. The connection for the air gun is two. You have the power cord that will plug into the base of the unit. And then it also has a connection, but it's a little different than it has a double item. So you want to make sure both sides of this are tight before you start spraying your connection. This is a little cross-threaded from the factory. There we go. And that'll push the little ball that's on the end, the gland on there, tightly against this. And now we would plug the item where the charging card goes into the bottom near the switch. So the system comes with a wand, and you would have attached the trigger to the wand handle with a little seal inside and tighten it up. And then there are interchangeable tips. There's an O-ring already in the end of this tip that's going to allow it to seal when you attach. And there are spare O-rings in the bag in case this happens to pop off somewhere. So you have a tip. This is a high volume, pretty large droplet tip, and it can spray 6 to 10 feet away if you open it. So very much like a trigger sprayer where you can adjust the spray, but the droplets are fairly large. And then you move to the double tip here is two 74 micron tips, lots of flow. You can coat things fairly quickly that screw onto the end for spraying out in an outside area. You start to move inside, you would have a choice of your single tip with this little hood on it. And this is 174 micron tip. And you can really control quite nicely where you're spraying with this. So classrooms or eating areas or atriums or anything like that that's kind of a large space but not huge like an auditorium where you might want to work to more spray type. And finally, when you get down to maybe you have stuff you need to reach out to And you can't walk all over, so you want to project the spray out away from you and walk down the center of a room perhaps. Then you can use the air gun. And the air gun has 350 micron tips inside so that the air can move those droplets quite easily. The bigger the droplet, it's going to want to fall. So the smaller droplets are moved by the air gun quite nicely. And the air gun has its own on-off for spraying, and there's a fan in the back that does the projection. So the air gun is nice when you have a specific need to be able to propel away from where you can reach with the wand.